So we begin this journey in our imagination. We're just being with ourselves right in this moment, in this time, in this space. And in your consciousness now, allow yourself to go back in time. So you imagine time 10, 20 years back from where we are now. And we imagine we go back 50 years. Many of us were alive 50 years ago, not all of us. But in our imagination, we can go back. We can go back 100 years. 500 years. 1,000 years. And we can keep going back thousands of years in our imagination. But then we reach a point where our imagination can no longer conceive of further back, though we know that it exists. And we touch what Sefer Yetzirah calls infinity. And infinity is a concept. Beyond infinity, there is no concept. There is Ain Sof, limitless light that existed prior to time. And now bringing your awareness back to this moment. Here we are, this little point in the column of infinite time, and allow yourself to imagine 10 years, 100 years in the future, 1,000 years. And we know we could keep imagining, but our limited mind surrenders and said, oh, I'm touching infinity. And I'm aware that beyond infinity is Ain Sof, limitless light. And now bringing yourself back to this moment. And now we're going to travel in space, through space. Imagine in your consciousness you could go eastward. So you're going past China, out into the galaxy. Maybe you can even imagine that we're leaving this star system, but we're aware that our imagination is limited, and we touch infinity in the east, and beyond infinity is Ain Sof, limitless light. Now bringing your attention back to this place where you are right now. And imagine you can go to the west. In your consciousness, you're going westward, going past Hawaii, out into space. And you touch that place once again that we call infinity. And beyond infinity is Ain Sof, limitless light. Now imagine you can travel forward from where you are, and you recognize you touch infinity, surrounded by Ain Sof, returning your awareness to this place, and travel backwards, north, south, you touch infinity. You travel north and south and east and west, up and down. We come to that recognition that our imagination is limited and we are surrounded by infinite space. And beyond that, Ain Sof, limitless light. So feeling yourself as the midpoint, you're a dot in the middle of infinite time and infinite space. But the midpoint within infinity is the center point. So feel yourself, you are the center point within time and infinite space. You are the center point within God, where God is surrounding you. There's no place that you can travel in this life or the next that would take you out of infinite time and space and Ain Sof. So just internalizing this experience of being the center point, and your consciousness can always expand. You can leave the density of being this human being and allow your consciousness to touch infinite time and space. So allow your consciousness to expand and realize you're not limited to this finite experience of time and space. That your consciousness can expand while still occupying this human body. Just allow yourself to let go of the limiting ideas of who you think you are or should be. And just allow yourself to expand. Know that you are held in this makom, this place of God. So it's called running and returning. I'm running, I'm expanding as far as my imagination can go, and then I recognize there's a territory of Ain Sof that surrounds all of creation, the limitless light that was prior to time, prior to space. And I can contract my consciousness. So I embrace myself as a human being, human. You know, there's a Kabbalistic practice of resting your consciousness in both places at the same time. I can experience the consciousness of God, the highest place, this expanded awareness. I could experience myself as a human being with all the feelings, conditioned fears, doubts. But the best way is to experience yourself in this expanded consciousness, this infinite time and space consciousness, and looking at your human existence with compassion. And maybe there's something that your expanded God consciousness wants to tell the more limited human version of yourself. You take time to listen. I imagine this consciousness would say, don't be afraid. Be loving. Be joyful. Allow yourself to have moments of and taste of eternity, even in the midst of daily life. So listen to what your message is. And now bringing your focus back to your breath, back to this precious moment in time and space where we are privileged to meet by divine will. Allow yourself to really open to being present, to the presence, to the freedom, knowing that you can transcend limitations. You allow yourself to let go. Allow yourself to trust. Allow yourself to surrender. Taking a few moments to internalize and know that what you open to doing this meditation is always available to you. Eternity is eternal. Whatever blessings that you have received, say amen to them. It will allow you to lock this flow of blessing more fully in your being.